So is it weird to anybody else that it seems like no matter what Microsoft does, they're the bad guy? They just can't seem to win. Even when they try to do like the friendly thing, the right thing, it just really feels like a lot of people don't care. They realistically want Microsoft. I don't know what they want, to be quite honest with you. Like, it seems like a lot of people, they enjoy Microsoft, but at the same time, they maybe don't want Microsoft in the industry. I don't know what the deal is at all. Like, it's completely ridiculous with what I've seen lately. And when you see stuff like this, and I'm sort of looking at it and I'm going, okay, well, listen, Microsoft is doing what they can here, right? Microsoft has always done their own thing. Phil Spencer has always given props to Sony. They've always given props to Nintendo. So I don't understand what the big deal is for me personally. Like I said, maybe you guys think differently. I don't really know, but for me, I look at it, everything that that kind of comes out and goes, okay, well, Microsoft really screwed up here. I don't really look at Microsoft as having screwed up here, right? So this, to me, I thought was interesting because people are trying to run with it as a negative. Phil Spencer says we're going to think of Nintendo and PlayStation users as part of the Xbox community. Again, Phil Spencer has been busy in the wake of the Activision Blizzard deal finally being approved, but that hasn't stopped the Xbox boss from sitting down for another interview. This time, Phil talked to Japanese outlet Famitsu about plenty of different aspects of the Xbox brand, including its future in the market and how the team will work with other platforms like PlayStation and Nintendo. When asked about Xbox's future on not just game consoles, Phil said that Microsoft needs to think of Nintendo and PlayStation players as members of the Xbox community in the future, though this is roughly translated. Keep that in mind, folks. First of all, I'm very excited about what the future holds. In terms of hardware, I think it's not just a matter of adapting to what other companies are doing, but also providing something unique for Xbox users. Just as we think of ROG Ally and Steam Deck as part of the Xbox community, we need to think of the many Nintendo Switch and PlayStation users as part of the Xbox community in the future. Similarly, we think it's important to make sure that everyone who continues to play Xbox games, including those who play Game Pass on PC, feel equal in the community. There's a lot of work to be done. So obviously, don't worry though, plenty of Phil's focus is still set on games coming from Team Xbox. When asked about Xbox first-party consistency, Phil reiterated that the team is aiming to release a blockbuster roughly every 3 months, and I quote, "In terms of the next 2 or 3 years, we plan to release a first-party blockbuster or anticipated title roughly every 3 months. We're very excited about it." The full interview is very interesting, and Phil gives plenty of detailed answers throughout. It's definitely worth a read. I'm going to link it. You guys can check that out as well. But people are running going, oh man, it sounds like Phil's giving up and saying that they're going third party. Like, no matter how many times Phil has literally said they're not going third party, people, for whatever reason, refuse to believe it. They jump to this nonsense every single time. Despite that, this is actually translated. So if anybody's ever used Google Translate, they understand that it's not exactly accurate. So obviously, considering PS5 and Switch users part of the overarching Xbox community is a smart thing to do, and he probably already does that. They're getting Call of Duty, Minecraft. That does make them part of the Xbox community, regardless of what other people think. It doesn't mean that Nintendo and PlayStation gamers are getting Starfield or Forza or Halo. It just means that, the third-party games that they do have, that they do publish, they're considered Xbox players. And I've been saying this for a long time. They're all going to be considered Xbox players, and that's something that actually is going to help them in the long run, because their big key metric is, hey, players, and that's exactly what they managed to get. So, considering that they do consider, everybody kind of, one way or whatever, whether you're using a ROG Ally or a Steam Deck or whatever, I can understand that. If you're playing an Xbox game, you're part of the Xbox community, right? And people want me to have some kind of issue with that, and I literally don't. So, he stated that because the acquisition let Xbox put more games on PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch, he consequently considers players on said platforms to be part of the community, which I think is accurate. And when he mentions the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck, he says that they can play Xbox published games like Redfall and Starfield, as Xbox now controls Activision Blizzard games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Overwatch 2. Spencer's applying that same logic to PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch players. Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard was finally closed after 20 long months of legal standoffs and questions. Last month, on October 13th, Xbox has now complete control of major gaming franchises like Call of Duty, Overwatch, Diablo, World of Warcraft, and many others. New comments are just the latest in a very long line of statements shepherded in games like Call of Duty to more platforms instead of making them exclusive to Xbox. And considering Xbox signed a mammoth 10-year deal to put Call of Duty games on Nintendo earlier in the year, it's no surprise that Spencer considers the incoming player base to be part of the Xbox community. So, again, people want to try to make this to be a negative. I don't look at it as a negative. I look at it as a extreme positive. It doesn't mean that they're going third party. It doesn't mean that they're not going to have console exclusives. It just means that the games that they are putting on there, they're welcomed into the fold. I know that there is this like fan mentality where they want people to hate on one thing or just only like one other thing or whatever, but the reality, I think, is much different. And so I think we're starting to see that just a little bit, and it's playing out in a way that I think a lot of fans, or I don't want to say fans, because I think the average fan realizes that like the third party stuff was going to be everywhere, and they probably just kind of realize now that it's just extra players for Microsoft. I'm sure PlayStation fans don't like that idea. I'm sure Xbox fans, maybe some of them wish that they would keep Call of Duty exclusive. Obviously that's not something that is going to happen, but I can understand why people maybe thought it would, or maybe even believe that it should. I mean, when you look at the way that Sony kind of pays for everything and actually has different licenses and things that realistically they keep people away from having the ability to play games. So again, that's up to them.